You know, since we were talking about IVs today, I should probably mention that an update is on its way out that includes an IV checking feature in the game. Unfortunately, I don't have the update yet. They're staggering the rollout. So hopefully, if I get it before the end of the day, I can talk about it in this episode. If not, I'm sure I'll have it by tomorrow, and you can bet tomorrow's episode will include a full review of the new in-game IV checking system. Are you busy? We need to talk. It's about IVs. I talk about IVs a lot on this channel, and I also talk a lot about ideal movesets. In my opinion, they're both pretty important, but I think the thing that I've failed to convey is when one becomes more important than the other. IVs are for the endgame. They're important when you want to have the strongest possible Pokemon after you reach the level cap and you max everything out. But in the short term, they're a lot less important than you might think. Let's look at it this way. Say you hatch a perfect IV Pokemon from an egg at level 20. We'll use my Rhydon as an example. It has 1281 CP with 100% perfect IVs at level 20. Now I already have a Rhydon who's level 22 with 93% perfect IVs. Its IVs are lower, but because it's 2 levels ahead, its CP is over 100 points higher. Now on top of that, that 93% Rhydon has a more desirable moveset, in my opinion, with both moves being the same type and benefiting from stab. The perfect IV Rhydon will have a higher maximum CP, but that's 17 levels and 250,000 Stardust away. So as it stands now, the Rhydon with lower IVs is actually better, in my opinion, than the one with perfect IVs. It would cost me 10,000 Stardust to power up that perfect Rhydon to the same level as my 93% Rhydon. At that point, it'll have higher CP, but its moveset still isn't as desirable to me. It's much more situational. The Rhydon with 93% IVs has 2 ground-type moves, and I could use it as a great counter to fire types, electric types, poison types, whereas the perfect Rhydon has a fighting and a rock type move. The Rhydon with perfect IVs is a lot more situational. I'd probably only use it against defenders who have a weakness to fighting type, but to be honest, ground covers most of the same types that fighting does. So while I'd choose the perfect IV Rhydon in situations against ice or normal type defenders, in a lot of other situations, I'm going to favor the one with 93% IVs. If I were to power up both Rhydons to their current maximum level, the one with perfect IVs is going to have slightly higher CP, but the difference is so small that it's not going to make me choose that one in any situation where I would currently choose the one with 93% IVs. The fact of the matter is, the Rhydon with 93% IVs and 2 ground-type moves will always be the better choice in matchups against Steel, Fire, Poison, or Electric-type Pokemon, while the one with perfect IVs and a Fighting and Rock-type move will probably be the better choice against Normal or Ice-type Pokemon. As I've said before, this game isn't about having the one best Pokemon for every situation. It's about having multiple Pokemon for multiple different situations, because you do have the flexibility and the freedom to choose every time you enter a battle. On top of just IVs, there's another thing you need to consider, which is the amount of Stardust you're going to have to invest into these Pokemon. As you guys know, I've been looking for a decent Execute to evolve and power up. I already have one with 93% perfect IVs, but it only has 113 CP, so to power that up to its current maximum level would cost me at least 100,000 Stardust, and to me, that's just not worth it right now. So yeah, while its IVs are higher than any other Execute that I've caught, because it would cost me so much to make that Execute viable, I've chosen not to invest in it. I'd rather wait to hatch or catch something with even 80% IVs, but closer to 600 CP, because it would take me a lot less Stardust to get that Execute to a point where it could attack or defend gyms reliably. As if there wasn't already enough, one more thing to consider is the rarity of a Pokemon. If you were to catch a Snorlax with 90% perfect IVs, but only 400 CP, what good is that going to do you considering the rarity of Snorlax candies? I've only caught 2 Snorlaxes in the entire time that I've been playing Pokemon Go. That's 8 Snorlax candies. If I were to use those 8 candies on that 400 CP Snorlax, it would make it to maybe 800 CP. But if I were to find a Snorlax in the wild with 1500 CP, but only 50% perfect IVs, those candies would be better spent on that 1500 CP Snorlax because it would be much more competitively viable and usable in gyms right now. The reason I mention that is because someone called me a fraud for breaking my 80% rule to power up my Snorlax, which only has 70% perfect IVs. But the reasoning behind it is that Snorlax is so rare that it's really unlikely that I'll find a Snorlax with a better moveset and higher IVs anytime soon. Or ever, really. So when it comes to choosing which Pokemon to evolve and invest Stardust in, there aren't really any set rules. You have to look at each one on an individual basis and decide whether or not it's worth it to you. So I guess the takeaway here, the message that I'm really trying to convey, is that IVs are for the endgame. CP matters now, and a moveset is always important. So with all that said, I get a ton of questions on Twitter about your specific Pokemon. Things like, is this a good moveset, or should I evolve Dratini A or Dratini B? And while I love helping you guys out, I get hundreds, sometimes thousands of mentions a day, and I don't have time to answer every specific question. The questions that I choose to answer are ones that I can retweet and answer in a way that's going to help everybody who reads it. So please don't be mad at me if I don't answer your specific question. My goal isn't to be the guy who answers every question for you. What I want is to give you the skills and the knowledge and the understanding to make these decisions on your own. It's that whole teach a man to fish thing, right? So please, continue asking questions, but be aware that the ones that I choose to answer are the ones that are going to help me further everyone's knowledge and understanding of the game. Does that make sense?
Nick, I don't even have a Twitter.
We just woke up to a Nidoqueen on the sightings list. Well, I just woke up. You've been awake. I just woke up to a Nidoqueen on the sightings list, so we're gonna go find it, and then maybe eat some breakfast. The Nidoqueen's gone from the list, but this is now the 3rd and 4th Magikarp that have popped up since we've been walking around. I guess that's okay. Brings me closer to Gyarados. Got it. No Nidoqueen though. Ooh. I only need 5 more Ammonite candies.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it's gone. Let's walk back this way though. Still kind of disappointed that the Nidoqueen's gone though.
Me too.
Oh, well, let's get breakfast.
Already ate breakfast.
On the highway.
So, most of the day has passed. I took another nap, shot a little bit of stuff that you saw earlier in the episode, and now we're out here at Malaya Harbor, which is where I came on the night of the full moon, because everyone's hungry, and I want some Pokemon.
Diglett.
3 Ekans.
I caught 2
Eevee,
Ekans.
Pidgey, Diglett.
I
Nothing
caught those.
really exciting. I mean, the Eevee. I don't need
Unless
that
you
Eevee.
want a ton of EVs. Here?
Yep. With this Ammonite, I will have 49 candies. And I think I have 1 that I can transfer. So I might be able to evolve after this. Kind of bummed that I don't have the option of getting an Omastar with Rock Throw anymore. Not that it's his best move, but it was a really good Lapras counter. I do have an Omastar with Rock Throw, but it has 93 CP. So maybe down the line when someone has a ton of extra Stardust and they're willing to trade for it, I can get something out of it. So many people sitting in their cars at this lure. At least 3 cars just sitting there running right now. Turn Turn your cars off if you're gonna sit there.
Maybe its tail is on that. Look at that one.
Wow, that thing is massive.
This crazy Magikarp spawn is exactly what I came down here for. I'm getting really close to 400 candies. That's 320, 321. We only have 2 days left here, so I gotta make this happen quick. Totally out of Pokeballs. Gonna head up here and spin the stops. But, you know, I just met some cool people out here, so shout out to everyone who came and said hi. But they let me know that a couple nights ago there was a Dragonite, a Charizard, Gyarados, Snorlax, all in one night here, which is insane. But the most interesting thing is that they were seeing a ton of Dratinis before that Dragonite showed up. So I guess that's something to look out for, is that maybe if you're seeing a lot of first evolution Pokemon in one area that's not normally a nest, stick around because the later evolutions might start showing up. It was 3 a.m. when that Dragonite showed up, so you might have to hang out for a while, but definitely something interesting.
And there was a Dragonair. He said that he caught a Dragonair also.
That's right, Dratini, then a Dragonair, then at 3 a.m., Dragonite. One other thing that was a part of that I forgot to mention just probably 3 seconds ago for you was that they lit up all these Pokestops with lures all the way down to here. They put lures on all of them to see if that would bring anything out or cause something to happen. Now, whether or not that was a factor in all those rare Pokemon spawning, I can't say for sure, but it's definitely an interesting theory. Alright, we're heading down this way because my dude Ryan here let me know that there's a Kabutops in the area. So hopefully we can find that over here.
There he is, he just popped up.
I don't have him
Look at
yet.
that beautiful thing.
Yep, there he is.
Look at that. I'm gonna screenshot this thing.
524. That's good because I only have like 7 Pokeballs. Oh man.
996. Dang, he's gonna give me a fight.
I don't know if this is gonna work out for me.
I'm gonna go straight to Ultra Balls.
Oh, shoot.
I hope you catch it, man.
I hope so too. If this doesn't work out, I might have to buy Pokeballs.
We walked all the way over here. Yes, I finally have it on my Pokedex.
What are the moves on it?
Let's see. Let's go to recent.
Got it. Got it in a Pokeball. That worked out really well.
Fury Cutter and Water Pulse. I noticed that whenever someone catches the same Pokemon, there's always the same moveset.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have the same moves, same IVs. The only thing that's different between them is the level.
Right, of course.
So, man, could have been a better moveset, but that's cool, man. Thank you for letting me know about that. Back at the condo now, just had a nice dinner. I still don't have the update, but I do have some screenshots that were sent to me by Will Irwin on Twitter. So I can give you a little overview of how this new system's gonna work.
There's a Blastoise sighting and it's my first one.
Wait, what? Blastoise?
Blastoise! Blastoise!
Okay, we're gonna pick this up later. We gotta go find this Blastoise. I don't want this to be like the Nidoqueen from this morning. It's here, it's here.
You got
We
it?
didn't even have to turn around. It's
my
here.
God.
I'm not wasting time. It's here.
It ran away from me.
What?
Yeah,
It ran away?
it ran away. I was gonna say it too and I didn't want to jinx it.
Why do I have no GPS signal? Error. It despawned, I think. That was really sad for both of us.
Remember this day.
Why are you gonna get our hopes up like that? Dang. And now I have this lucky egg on. Alright, I'm gonna go back and evolve some Pokemon. That was kind of sad, disappointing. But I have 17 minutes left on this lucky egg, and quite a few Pokemon that I've been waiting to evolve. And then we'll talk about the new IV checker. Staryu. I can do Staryu. Water Gun Hydro Pump. Ah, I've been redeemed. Goldeen. You are also ready. Seaking has Peck and Icy Wind. Icy Wind has really poor damage per second. It's okay against grass types, but Seaking is weak to grass, so I don't know. Maybe if I put that in a gym, someone would use a grass type against it, thinking they have an advantage, and then, I don't know. It seems like the only situation where that's really useful. Shelter? Not quite. I have so many that are so close. I was holding off to do all of these at once, but I have this lucky egg on now. Poliwag. This one's going all the way. Yeah, that's a lot stronger than the Poliwhirl I have already. Here we go. Poliwrath. Mudshot Hydro Pump. I mean, that's the second best in terms of damage output. I would have liked to have 2 water type moves. The only one I don't have yet is Flareon. So I'm going to show you guys. This trick still does work. You can only do it once per Pokemon, or once per evolution. I haven't done it for any of them yet, just to prove that the nicknames do still work. Here comes a Flareon. Yep. Just once each, though. Ember, Heatwave. Cool. Horsey, I can evolve. Seadra, what have you got for me? Dragon Breath, Blizzard. Doesn't get stab on either of those moves. It's a good dragon type counter. I could use this against Dragonites, really. It's probably going to need to be powered up a little to really take on any Dragonites. Diglett. I keep forgetting about this one. That's another new entry. Mudslap, Earthquake. Sweet. That is probably the best Dugtrio moveset. But look at that CP. The reason it has such low CP is because Diglett and Dugtrio have really poor defensive stats. They're pretty offense heavy, but even so, their attack isn't that great. And on top of that, they have really low HP. Magikarp, I'm getting so close. 325. I have to get that done. Tomorrow, really, is my last full day. Oh, Growlithe, yes. I do want an Arcanine with a better moveset. Preferably 2 Fire-type moves. Bulldoze. Well, I just gotta start looking for another decent Growlithe. I can do this Ammonite, but I'm on the fence about it. I do have 1 Ammonite to transfer. 665 CP. I could transfer it away, but I kind of want to wait for an Ammonite that's a higher level. This is like the same thing that I'm going through with my Execute. Although this Ammonite's a little bit stronger than the Execute is, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait. But overall, I got some pretty decent evolutions out of that. I'm really happy with the Starmie. I'm okay with the Poliwrath, the Arcanine. I got another Bulldoze, which is... I can't evolve a Krabby. I can evolve 2 Krabbies. This one has good IVs. Again, same thing. Low level. Again, like I said at the beginning of the episode, it's not about having one Pokemon that's good for every situation. It's about having many different Pokemon that you can use in any different situation. That's why I'm keeping both of these Golducks, both of these Starmies, both of these Arcanines, even though they're really just like gym defender fodder at this point. So I expect to have many multiples of each Pokemon. I mean, at least the ones that I come across more often. It's going to be a long time before I have multiple Dragonites, or multiple Charizards, or multiple Gyarados. But you want to collect different ones so that you can use them in different situations. So with that said, I'm pretty satisfied with some of those evolutions. The ones that really mattered are pretty decent. And let's talk about the new IV tracker. Checker. So what I was saying is, your team leader will give you a predetermined message based on the Pokemon's IVs. And from the screenshots that Will sent me, we've determined that the first cutoff is at 90%. So if the Pokemon is above 90%, you'll see this message from Blanche. The message is going to be different from each team leader, but the cutoff should be the same. So if it's above 90%, you'll see overall your name of Pokemon is a wonder. What a breathtaking Pokemon. And from there, it'll then tell you its best attribute is its HP, and it's matched equally by its defense. So basically what it'll say is, this stat has the highest IVs, and it'll let you know if any other ones equal that. From the other screenshots that he sent me, it seems like the next cutoff point is between 64.4 and 66.7%. So that's kind of disappointing because you're going to get the same message for a Pokemon that's 89% perfect all the way down to 67% perfect. And then from there, the next cutoff is at 50%. And anything below 50% is going to get the same message. So that's just a quick overview of how this new in-game IV checker is going to work. Once I get the update, hopefully tomorrow, I'll do an in-depth analysis and review and give you guys my full opinion on it. Overall, I think this in-game IV checker is a huge step in the right direction, and it shows that Niantic is listening and is paying attention to what we as players want from this game. So with that said, I'm going to start editing now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Today I want to focus on something that still has a lot of newer players pretty confused. Type advantage. Some of you might already be pretty familiar with this topic, but even if you're a veteran of the franchise, you should know that type advantage works a little bit differently in Pokemon Go.